Hey everybody, Jim Saffold here, our final video. My topic was starting a fire. The review I did was on this book here, the Pocket Survival Guide. Great tool to have in your pack or your pocket. We'll head out into the woods and cover a couple techniques that you can use to start the fire. All right guys, we're about a half mile into the woods. To help me out, I brought my son Cameron. He's a fireman. He's gonna run safety for us and make sure we don't start any fires. Shouldn't be a problem because it's been raining like crazy. You can see I got a poncho on. And then also with us is our good friend Cody Ryan. He's the owner and producer of When the Lights Go Out YouTube channel. He's got thousands of followers and a couple dozen episodes that are exactly what we've studied in this class. He's a survival expert and he's going to help us out.
How's it going, everyone?
All right, so we've taken the time to clear out the ground here so that we get a good base for the fire. We don't want too much moisture or any more than we absolutely have to have. We look like we got some pretty good rain clouds coming in. We set up a quick lean-to shelter to cover our fire from the elements in case that happens. And we're getting ready to start fire using a couple different methods. We've got steel wool and a 9-volt battery to tap together and get some kindling and some other combustibles to get the fire going. We've got some alcohol soaked cotton balls, another method that should light pretty well. We're gonna try to create a fire using the powder from a shotgun shell, and we also have cotton balls soaked in Vaseline to burn a little more slowly, so we'll get it started. So we've kind of circled our campsite, and we've located some Spanish moss here. This is a great accelerant. It takes a flame pretty quickly, and it'll help us get our kindling burning. While we were gathering the Spanish moss, Cody saw right over here on the palm tree, there's some monkey's fur, which is actually an even better source of kindling. It takes a flame really fast also. So he's gonna gather some of that, and we're gonna use both of these as accelerants to get the flame going.
Another nice thing is underneath these palm fronds, it's going to be shaded from that weather, so this is going to be nice and dry, even in a downpour.
And I can feel the moisture in this. Some parts of it are dry, but yeah, I can feel the difference. You can actually see the difference. Let's go give it a shot. So we got method number one is going to be an alcohol-soaked cotton ball. We're going to set it on this palm frond, which elevates the flame from the ground to keep the moisture away. It'll help the fire. So after we get that going, hopefully after a few strikes, we'll add the Spanish moss and the monkey's fur and see which one ignites better. We also got some kindling here set to put on top and then help the fire progress. This stick here will also help us. We can elevate a little bit to add more air underneath without blowing on it to knock it into the woods. So we got our ferro rod. Give it a couple strikes. Got the cotton ball to ignite pretty quickly. The Spanish moss felt a little bit wetter, so I'll try that first because I think it'll be a little more difficult. And it's taken the flame really fast and really well. And you'll see when I add the monkey's fur, it'll go even faster. So now we can use the stick to maneuver the fire, add air. The three components to any fire are fuel, heat, and oxygen. And depriving it of any of those is going to make the fire go out. Right now it's going pretty good, so we'll add some tinder, some kindling across the top, and then as it grows, we'll put bigger wood on top, and then the fire will last longer. So method number two is going to be the petroleum jelly coated cotton ball. It should burn a lot longer than the alcohol soaked cotton ball if we can get it to ignite. And then we'll add the monkey's fur and the Spanish moss as tinder. We already saw that both of them took to the flame quite quick. Obviously the petroleum jelly lights really fast as well. Doesn't weigh anything. You carry it in your backpack in a Ziploc like I did. It's super easy to transport, and it's a difference maker. We've got the flame. Add oxygen, keep the fire going. We can add monkey's fur, which we know will carry a flame as well. And then the same thing, add more tinder. As the fire gets bigger, the fuel gets bigger, and then the flame will last longer. So the accelerants on the cotton balls is a gimme. It's a no-brainer. It's going to work every time really fast. Let's pretend we don't have that, and we have only the monkey's fur that's abundant in Florida, especially. I think we can get it to light with the ferro rod. A little more difficult, but it's definitely taking the flame. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get it going. So once we get it going pretty good, we can add more kindling. And again, the bigger the flame gets, the bigger the fuel we can place on it without smothering it. And then the longer the fire will last. That's no accelerants, just with what we have and the all-important ferro rod. We got some substantial rain coming down. It's going to make it a little more difficult, but we're going to give it a shot with the steel wool. Pulling apart the steel wool, like Cody suggested, it's pretty incredible how quick this makes an ember, and hopefully we'll make we can get a fire going. We'll give it a shot. And just like that, got a really good flame. Same sequence. Add the fuel as the flame gets bigger. I think I put it out a little too much on top at this point. Should have let the flame get a little bigger, but you see how quick it took the flame. So our last fire is going to be a chemical fire. Cody here is an expert. He's going to demonstrate how we set up the chemical fire.
So what this is, as Jim said, is a chemical fire. This is potassium permanganate, and you'll find this in most med kits. This is glycerin, which reacts with the potassium permanganate. You can also find the same ingredient that reacts with the potassium in antifreeze. So let's do a dollop. Let me see if I can show it to you first. The fine powder. This doesn't take much, but because everything is so wet, we're gonna make a pile to keep it dry.
And Cody obviously has this because he's an expert. This is something he does regularly. If you're prepared and you have these tools at your disposal, obviously fire can be a lot easier to obtain.
So what this is doing is it's pulling up all the moisture that's in this log. It's pulling up the moisture that we have.
Yeah, it's been
everywhere
raining
else.
pretty heavy.
Currently still raining. It's 100% humidity out. So it's saturating the powder.
That's pretty efficient even in the pouring rain.
There we go. Give it some oxygen, don't smother it. Fire likes to climb.
We've got it sheltered. It's a good thing because the amount of rain we're getting would put it out right away. So that's why it's struggling to stay lit. But we'll add larger kindling as the flame gets bigger, and off we go. All right, so in summary, we lit 5 successful fires without using a flame. We didn't use a lighter. We used the ferro rod, a cotton ball soaked in rubbing alcohol, ignited right away. Cotton ball saturated with Vaseline, lit right away, lasted a little bit longer. Monkey's fur just by itself ignited really fast, made a good flame pretty quick. We used a steel wool and a 9-volt battery, very common items, made a flame and an ember almost immediately. Add the other combustibles and boom, we had fire. And then Cody did the chemical fire, which ignited in a pretty good downpour. We came back to the house for some shelter because the storm got pretty serious. I just want to thank Cam for helping me out. Cody, don't forget to check out his YouTube channel, When the Lights Go Out Survival. You can see the Jeep that he's got. there's some episodes that have that in it. I hope everybody had a great class like I did. Really enjoyed the course, and I feel like I learned a lot. We'll see you guys around.